let's do this since we're the name of the show is Getting Over. So what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to come up with these elaborate schemes, plots, and theories, theologies to get some of the struggling fucking talent in professional wrestling over.
That's right.
We need to do that at least one time before we say goodbye to you guys. And I fucking fall into a deep, deep slumber after drinking this shit and possibly fucking eating something that's gonna make my heart crawl to a slow.
This may be the only episode of Getting Over you'll ever see. All right.
So let's do this. Since we're talking about getting over, we need to find somebody part of the world wrestling entertainment. And we're not going to limit this to just WWE wrestling. We don't want to be one of those shows that just only focuses on WWE and the Bullet Club. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on a wrestler that's struggling in this fucking industry, or WWE specifically at this point in time. We're going to try to figure out a scheme to get that motherfucker over because you motherfuckers don't like him and we need to help him out.
All right. Now, the person who immediately jumps to my mind is the Big Show. This is a guy who's been in professional wrestling since, was it 94 or 5?
First of all, before we get started on Big Show, it's like why don't y'all like Big Show? Big Show's old.
All right, I'll tell you why people don't like Big Show.
Have people always not liked Big Show?
Well, they used to like Big Show. I mean, there used to be likable things about him.
Remember who was the son of Andre the Giant? You remember that?
Yeah,
you were watching. You weren't watching.
I was a WWF. But the point is that the Big Show has been around for so long that he's played both sides of the fence. So people don't really know if they should be glad when they see Big Show or sad when they see Big Show, because he's played a face and a heel so many times that he doesn't even really know where he's at.
I feel like Big Show is like he's like Susan Lucci. Is that her name?
I don't know.
Erica Kane.
Okay.
He's not even in the story anymore. You just appreciate him. It's like the Undertaker. Like he's not even fucking a part of the shit anymore. Like he's beat the game. Like he's lasted 20 plus years in wrestling.
Right.
So he doesn't really need to be a face or a heel. It doesn't matter. Like he's an elder statesman. He's Undertaker. He's fucking Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. Like he's that now.
Well, I think he's that because he's been around there long enough.
Yeah,
not because they've saddled him with like these great gimmicks that have made him who he is. I just think he's just outlasted and outsurvived people. But I still think there's something that Big Show can do to be more over than he actually already is. Because he's already 7'2" or 7-foot-ish and 500 pounds, and he brings a lot of the spectacle of himself just down to the ring. That's what he's been banking off of.
Make sure you gotta lose weight. You get to the age where you're
it's
like,
gonna be really hard to lose it after.
Dude,
a while.
you're like 42, but you look 50. And the funny thing about it is, dude, you're gonna stop working out, and
you get like Shaq.
The fuck? What's Shaq?
Shaq is fat now.
Why'd you fucking take a chance? And all the people you could have said, you said fucking Shaq.
That's right. Shaq. What other 7-foot man do you know?
Well, that's probably why they're gonna fight at WrestleMania.
Well, they were already fought at WrestleMania last
year. No, but there's gonna be one next year fight. And
okay.
And the winner, he dies last.
The winner gets a lifetime supply of Icy Hot?
No. What does Big Show pump, though?
All right.
It's not a fair trade. Big Show doesn't pump it.
No, he doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. Big Show...
The winner gets to be a no.
But I think Big Show really has he has one more gimmick that he can do. And this is one that he doesn't even really have to wrestle
for. Y'all listen to this, because he's told me this before. I feel like this is a nice one, y'all. Listen to how he's going to get this.
Big Show should be the Godfather.
What do you mean?
Big Show should be the guy on the inside who helps guys who aren't having that great a time. Now you have your guys that the industry loves, that they're darlings of McMahon. You've got Roman Reigns, you got Seth Rollins, you got Dean Ambrose, you've got the Miz. Apparently, you've got all these guys who people just who have been put in the position to be the top forefront guys, right? So Big Show would be the man behind the scenes orchestrating it so that your smaller guys like your uh, uh, anybody who's forgettable. Anyways, yeah.
Case in point.
So that your
Bo Dallas.
Your Bo Dallases and your Mr. Irrelevant. What is his name? Henning.
Henning was Mr. Relevant?
Yeah.
Curtis Axel?
Yeah, Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel. Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel. Those guys, they actually get over a little bit. He'd be the guy pulling the strings that makes sure that all of a sudden, like if they ended up having like some sort of U.S. title match, well, all of a sudden the guy who's a U.S. champion, he's limping down to the ring at first. Like oh, well, what happened to him? Who knows? But Curtis Axel gets to fight the U.S. championship, fight for the U.S. championship, and maybe he wins because of that. It'd be Big Show. It would be the Big Show who's pulling the strings behind that. He'd be the Godfather, the man who's unseen, who wears every time you see Show, he's wearing a suit. He's talking to people behind the scenes a little bit, but you never really see exactly what happens there. But ultimately, he would be the Godfather-y, shadowy figure, powers that be, underground leader of the locker room.
Which I mean, and the cool thing about that idea is it kind of ties into that whole thing about the wrestlers not having a fucking union, Vince. So if let's say for example, if Big Show was the guy, I mean this is all storyline wise, but I kind of feel like it breaks kayfabe something they need a guy that's going to be on their side to kind of go to bat for them with administration to get them certain things. Certain wrestlers who aren't getting the type of push that they need a guy to go to bat for them. And I feel like they're kind of doing it to an extent right now with Daniel Bryan and Shane and what they're doing over there at SmackDown. But with his story with the Big Show, I mean, that would be kind of tight that because he's basically going to be the Undertaker. He's the leader of the locker room. He's the elder statesman besides Kane. And for whatever reason, well, that's another thing I was about to say. Is Kane, Big Show more valuable in the locker room? Is he looked at more of a legend? It seems like for some reason it seems like he is, but he hasn't done as much as Kane. It seems like Kane has done more.
Kane has been a consistent wrestler for a lot longer than
for Big some Show reason has. It seems like Big Show would have more status than him.
Well, just because he's a super big guy and he's still doing it, you know. I think Kane probably should have more status when you look at it.
I don't think he does. I feel like he should, but he don't think he does. At least for whatever reason. But what I'm trying to make to add to what's dope about that story is that there's levels to it and it can go for a long ass time and it gives Big Show something that he hasn't had the last 3 to 4 years, which is relevancy. He doesn't have to get out there and fucking wrestle. He can just be behind the scenes making deals with Shane, making deals with other wrestlers. You can see Big Show pop up and he's in the locker room. He's talking to Apollo Crews. He's talking to Apollo Crews about. Apollo Crews like, yeah, okay, thanks, Show. And he walks off. Because pretty much what they're doing, since he being the elder statesman, they're doing that with him anyway. I'm pretty sure that they're going. I'm pretty sure Apollo Crews goes to the Big Show all the time and talks to him about how did you last this long and what can I do to take care of my body? What can I do to last in this industry? What can I do to blah blah blah? Darren Corbin is just like, how the fuck do you keep your hair so fucking long before you lost it? What do I need to do? Hold on.
When do I need to start shaving?
Because right now this motherfucker is turning into a motherfucking mushroom, like the top of a mushroom or whatever. That's what my shit is starting to look like. My shit is starting to look like a fucking free throw line, and I don't understand why. It's follicles are sitting at the top of the key right now.
He's starting to Hogan up a little bit.
Man, Baron Corbin, gonna fucking start looking super good.
And you know what's that's gonna make him look even scarier.
No, it's gonna make him angry. It's gonna make him angry. That's for damn sure. Piss the world with that shit.
Yeah.
But it's gonna create intrigue. It's gonna create relevancy for show, and it's gonna put him in a light in the eyes of. And then the funny thing about it is it'll be super interesting if it was heel. If it was face, more interesting. Heel, because now you got. To me, it's just like for
he's
that
the kingpin.
Yeah, he's the kingpin pretty much. He's this massive guy. He got to look for it. He doesn't need. He has this look. He's a massive, imposing guy, but he doesn't even have to wrestle. He has so much power. His power behind the scenes, out of the ring, is so much greater than his power in the ring. Even though he's this massive guy, but then every once in a while he comes out the shadows and he will get in there and beat your ass. He has to. It's like Kingpin. So
that's right.
I think that's a dope story and a dope gimmick to put on Big Show, and that would be a cool way to get him over, make him interesting. Well, I don't know necessarily how you market that in terms of merch. Now, you may have a silhouette. We'll look at it this way. You might have a silhouette of Big Show, kind of like how you do the Godfather. You know how they had that black and white silhouette of Vito or whatever.
Uh-huh.
You can do the same thing with Big Show's face, and you can make little dangling strings and just put Big Show in the little puppet.
Yeah.
Shit. Godfather.
Or just put like the silhouette of his face, kind of. You have like the outline of his face, and then you have the half of it in white and then half of it in black, and it goes all the way down into like the tie and everything, and it just splits off that way, so it looks like the suit on one side, and it's just like a complete shadow on the other.
He even has the correct good name, Big Paulie.
That's right. There you go, Paulie. He should be Paulie from Goodfellas. That's who he should be. And then you should have like all these other guys who are his henchmen, who move around. It's easy.
Who would you give? Who would be?
Who are his henchmen?
You should have two.
Okay.
I feel like you should have people that do shit for him. Two guys that are
with him. So they'd have to be two guys that are with him, but two guys who are kind of expendable. I'd say. We're going to talk about them at another point, but
hold on. Put two guys with him. From two factions that nobody, or either faction or
like the Ascension. I don't know. They wouldn't need to.
Maybe it should be three guys. It should be one guy from the Ascension, one guy from Social Outcast, one guy from the Shining Stars.
Okay, here you go. You take one of those guys who got kicked out of the Wyatt family. What's his name?
Braun?
No, not Braun, but the other guy. He's not
Eric
even
Rowan?
No, the other guy.
Harper?
Yeah, Luke Harper.
He's about to come back.
Is he? Okay. Either way, but that gives Luke Harper another reason to do something else. That's another avenue for him to do something else. He doesn't have to be a Wyatt forever.
Yeah. But you guys understand what he's saying. He's pretty much saying, if show isn't going to be relevant inside the ring, give him some relevancy outside the ring, make it tie together. Make him the guy behind the scenes. Make him kind of like an Eric Bischoff, Paul Heyman type of character.
Yeah.
Where you're pulling the strings behind the scenes and getting heat that way. And then the difference between Show and Paul Heyman, between Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff and Show can actually get in there. He's won world championships. He's this big, massive, imposing guy. And that combination with the intelligence factor, he's our real life kingpin.
That's right.
Spider-Man. So that would be pretty dope. In my estimation, I thought that was a very good way to get over somebody who is otherwise stagnant as fuck. Wet, dripping fuck.
It's true.
Paul, you need to write him a check. Paul.
That's right. Do the right thing, Paul. Do the right thing, Paul. So, that's our episode of Getting Over. And next time, we're going to be back with more ways to get more people over because they deserve it. That's right, Vince. They deserve it.
I didn't take off his mask. Like, fuck, this shit is irritating. Ray, man, I feel you, man. Wearing this shit makes me want to kill a motherfucker, too. Shit.